Meeting God in the darkness. I once wondered, does God truly hear me? In those long nights, when darkness not only covered my room, but seeped into my soul, I whispered to myself, where is He when I need Him most? The question echoed in my heart as hope seemed to fade. I'm Min, an ordinary person. I grew up in a Catholic family, where prayers and Sunday Mass were essential. But as an adult, I left my hometown for the big city, chasing dreams of a better life. I thought I was strong enough to face any challenge. I was wrong. City life was harsh. Work pressure, shallow relationships, and constant failures wore me down. I worked endlessly to prove myself, but the harder I tried, the emptier I felt. Some nights, alone in my small apartment, I stared at the city lights, my heart heavy. I used to pray, but now I wasn't sure who I was speaking to. Did God care about me? Then everything collapsed. I lost my job. My closest friend betrayed me for personal gain. My family back home struggled, and I could do nothing to help. I felt like a failure, unworthy of love or forgiveness. I had heard, "Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened." But I knocked countless times, met only with silence. In despair, I returned home. I didn't know what I was seeking, only that I couldn't go on like this. On the bus, gazing at the fields and blue sky, something stirred within me, like a whisper, "Return to yourself." At home, my mother hugged me tightly. She said, "Child, God is always there, even when you don't see Him." I gave a faint smile, thinking it was mere comfort. But that night, in my old room, I opened the dusty Bible she left. I read Psalm 23. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." The words struck me, not with joy, but with a deep ache, as if an invisible hand touched my heart. I recalled my childhood, holding my mother's hand at church, the peace of singing hymns. But I also remembered turning away from God, chasing pride, fame, and wealth. I thought I could do it all alone, but now I stood broken before Him, hands empty. One morning I went to church, not out of faith, but because I had nowhere else to go. The church was unchanged. Old wooden pews, soft light through stained glass. I sat in a corner, feeling out of place, but the priest's words pierced me. God never abandons His children. They cut into my hidden wounds. I cried silently, recalling my failures, the nights I begged God without waiting for His answer. I realized I had abandoned Him, not the other way around. The turning point came one evening, walking through the fields behind our house. Under a starry sky, by the old tree where I played as a child, I knelt and prayed. "Lord, I've been lost too long. I need You. Guide me." No voice or dazzling light came, but a peace I'd never known washed over me, as if a weight lifted from my shoulders. I felt loved, forgiven. I remembered Jeremiah 29:11. "I know the plans I have for you, plans for a future and a hope." My journey changed. Challenges remained, doubts lingered, but I was no longer alone. I knew God was with me. I read the Bible daily, not from duty, but from a longing for His Word. I joined prayer groups, finding a community like family. I learned to forgive my betraying friend, myself. I trusted God's plan, even without seeing the full picture. Romans 8:28 guided me. All things work together for good for those who love God. My journey didn't end there. I realized God wanted me to be a light for others. I met Hung, a young woman at a local shop, like the old me, lost, wounded. She spoke of feeling abandoned, of losing faith. I shared my story, my despair, finding God, His peace. Tears in her eyes, Hung said, "I don't know if I can believe like you, but I want to try." I brought Hung to church. We read the Bible, prayed, and I saw her change. Her smile brightened, and I knew God was working in her heart. Through Hung, I saw my story as a testimony, a small flame God wanted me to share. I volunteered at the parish, serving meals to the poor, visiting the elderly, helping children. Each grateful look reflected God's love flowing through me. I was no longer the prideful men chasing fame. I was men healed by God, used to bring hope. Some days I'm tired, doubting my strength, but I recall that tree where I knelt and prayed. I remember God's peace, knowing He still guides me. Looking back, my despair wasn't punishment, it was a path to God. He met me in the darkness, touching my heart with gentle love and unconditional forgiveness. He showed me that no matter how far I strayed, He waited. If you're in the darkness, hear this: God never abandons you. Though you feel unworthy, He waits with open arms. Knock and you'll find. He is your shepherd, leading you through the darkest valleys to the light of hope and love. Trust and walk forward. He is always with you.